Shalom. We are preparing Parasha Re'eh, and this is one of the Torah portions that's one of my favorites. And this is the one where I think it's a couple of years back when I did the first Torah portion, or the first Re'eh study, where I discovered the idea of the 7th millennium, the wine press, and all the aspects associated with that. So that was a big milestone in my spiritual insight. Now, the thing about Re'eh is it means to comprehend with the mind, to have insight, to see things from a spiritual perspective, to have an understanding of what the things are that you see in the physical, but you see them in a spiritual context. That's what Re'eh means. Now, in the context of this parasha, it starts off with, "See, I place before you blessings and curses." And that's Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim, Shechem in the middle. The Shechem represents the covenant, the shoulders. And on the two sides, we see blessings and curses. It's like simulating the Garden of Eden again, where they stand before the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And there are multiple fruit, and they can now choose which fruit they want to eat. Now, the fruit in itself is probably very tasty, but the consequences of the fruit is what it's all about. Now, last week, when we look at Ekev, it is the word that means because, or wages, or the result of something. We also looked at Tisma'un concept, which is Shema, that connects to Vahaya. That's the other meaning connected to Yahweh or Yahweh through the number 26. And what we saw with number 26, the gematria of that are basically all the promises that includes the city and also includes Yahweh, because He is our exceedingly great reward. So Tisma'un is the process to access Vahaya, or the blessings of Yahweh. Now, Re'eh is basically confronting you with the choice of blessings and curses. Now, you can think for yourself, if you eat from the good fruit, you will get the blessing, and the blessing is associated with the blessings that's relating to the covenant. If you eat the evil fruit, it will lead to curses, and those curses will lead in another way, and you will go astray, cycling in the wilderness, 7 cycles of 7. And that is the cleansing processes which are associated with the wilderness. What we also saw last week is the place Gimel Dalet Hey. What's it? Gid Gadan, which basically reveal the 2 wilderness processes associated with the 2 camels, and the 2 doorways, or the 2 opportunities to enter through the door, or the opportunity to find the hidden treasure, which is behind the door, which is Mashiach, which leads to the covenant, which leads to the word, which leads to the cleansing, preparation, and beautifying process, holiness, and of course entering into the city. So that's the bigger picture, the background of where we left. We're starting with now the new confronting tree, and the idea of Re'eh, to see. So Yahweh wants us not only, if you look and you see the 2 mountains, Gerizim and Ebal, He wants you to see the blessings and the curses. He wants you to see beyond that. What is beyond Tisma'un? What is beyond you listening and obeying? You can listen and obey to Yahweh, or you can listen and obey to the Nachash. And the one will lead to the promised land, the other one will lead to another desert experience. So that's the premise of this parasha, the starting point, with the focus on spiritual sight, spiritual insight. The other thing that's very, very interesting about this first passage, it uses the phrase Yahweh your Elohim twice in the first two verses. Now, Yahweh your Elohim is a concept where Yahweh, which is the name of grace, the name related to the promises, Vayah, the name that relates to the blessings, connected to the name Elohim, which is the name of righteousness, the name associated with the judge, the name associated with the king, the one ruling, and of course judgment, which relates to curses. So when Yahweh Elohim is used in the same phrase, it is as if the Father and the Son will appear at the same time. The Father is the word Av, and Son is the word Ben, which is Aven, and Son is also Bar, which is the word Avar. The one means stone, Aven means stone, and Avar means feather. So when the Father and the Son appear, you can either be under his feather, under his wing, under his protection during the time of judgment, or you can be on the other side where you will experience him collectively as the stone that will hit the statue at his feet and destroy the kingdom of this world, the kingdom of religion, the kingdom of man-made traditions. So that is the idea of Yahweh Elohim. Now what's fascinating is that the word Yahweh Elohim is used 444 times in the scriptures, 326 times in the Torah, 281 times in the book of Devarim, Deuteronomy, 70 times in the parasha Re'eh, which is this Torah portion, and only 7 times in the Berit Chadashah, the New Testament. So if you look at that from a larger perspective, where do you find Yahweh Elohim? Yes, you find him in all of the scriptures, which is 444 times. If you want to look for him further, you'll definitely find him in the Torah, which is 326. Now 3 is covenant, 26 is Yotevave. And the Gematria of 326 contains the word watchtower, branch, and I think my master or something like that. And 281 is Devarim. That's got the Gematria that we're going to look at Saturday. I'm not going to reveal it now. That's a bit of a placeholder for something to look forward to. Then 70 is about Re'eh. We're going to study that in this Torah portion. And 7 is Berit Chadashah, which relates to fish. Also relates to troop, the tribe of Gad, to grow weary, to go astray, to invent evil things, and also the God of prosperity, the God of fortune. And all those things relate to the body of Messiah, specifically the 7th church. So I'll leave you with those thoughts, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Shalom.